This video will contain spoilers for Avengers Endgame. So if you haven't yet seen the movie, well, wait, everyone's seen the movie, never mind. In the 70s, there was a comic book series started called What If? This series dove into alternate timelines to see what would have happened if key events had happened differently. For example, there are issues on what if the Silver Surfer had possessed the Infinity Gauntlet and what if Venom had possessed Punisher. And I'm only just now realizing that the two random issues I picked both deal with possession. There have been tons of alternate stories told in these What If comics, and Disney recently announced that there would be an animated What If show for Disney+. The MCU actors will reprise their roles, and the stories will center around the MCU, but obviously be in different universes. At least that's what I think. We don't really know much for now. But if this is true, I really hope we get an episode titled What If Spider-Man Looked Like This? But you know what? I really don't want to have to wait for this What If series. So I thought, hey, why not make it my own? I can go over what I think would happen if the biggest events in the MCU had happened differently. So for today, what if the Avengers had lost the Battle of New York? I see there being two major outcomes where the Avengers lose the battle. One where Loki wins, and the other one where New York is nuked. I'll be talking about these two options separately. First, Loki wins. All of the Avengers are killed or captured. The Chitauri overrun the Earth, and Loki becomes the ruler. He is able to deliver the Space Stone and the Mind Stone to Thanos, making it so Thanos is already in a much better position for Infinity War. But there is actually still one more stone on Earth, the Time Stone. We know from Endgame that during the Battle of New York, the Ancient One had the Time Stone around her neck. I don't believe that the Chitauri would be able to defeat the Masters of the Mystic Arts, leaving them as the only humans left on Earth. Or at least the only free ones. It doesn't really seem like Loki plans on killing everybody.
Is not this simpler? Is this not your natural state? You were made to be ruled. In the end, you will always kneel.
I would assume that the Masters would go into hiding and probably attempt to come up with a plan to defeat the Chitauri and retake Earth. But they have one major problem, and that problem is called Caecilius. In case you don't remember, Caecilius is the villain from Doctor Strange, the guy with the freaky eyeballs and the one who summons Dormammu. You know, him. Caecilius sees this as the perfect opportunity to betray the Ancient One. So he steals the pages from the Book of Cagliostro and summons Dormammu. Doctor Strange never becomes, well, Doctor Strange, so he is not able to defeat Dormammu, and Earth becomes part of the Dark Dimension. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because now the Time Stone is in the Dark Dimension, and come Infinity War, things will be very different. Thanos would be able to collect the Power and Soul Stones just as he did in the movie, and he already has the Space and Mind Stones from Loki. But as for the Gauntlet, the Reality Stone, and the Time Stone, it's more of a question mark. I'm pretty sure he would still be able to get the Gauntlet, because at some point Odin is going to die, and I would assume it would be close to the same time since he died of natural causes. And when he died, it would free Hela, which is a whole new can of worms. But at the very least, Nidavellir is no longer protected by Asgard. And so Thanos can just waltz on up and make the Gauntlet. Next up, the Reality Stone was hidden by Odin's father, King Bor, and was later found by Jane Foster. But in this timeline, Jane Foster is already dead, so she can't find the Reality Stone. I would assume that Thanos would find it eventually because he can live for a really long time. I know that's somewhat of a boring answer, but that's the best I got. And for the time stone, well, he would need to go to the dark dimension. And I'm not inclined to say that Dormammu would give it up easily. So then it comes down to who would win a fight, Dormammu or Thanos with 5 stones. I would be inclined to say Dormammu, but after Endgame, I just really don't know. Let me know what you think down in the comments, as well as up here in the iCard. So this timeline would end with a huge battle between Thanos and Dormammu. But whoever wins, Earth is still part of the Dark Dimension, and the Avengers are toast. So yeah, not great stuff. Now for the other alternate timeline, where Loki does not win, but New York is still nuked. This timeline has a lot of similarity to the other one, but does have a few key differences. If New York got nuked, well, most of the Avengers would die. I think maybe Thor and Hulk would be able to survive, but none of the others. I also bet that the Sanctum Sanctorum would survive. And with the Time Stone, the Ancient One could just reverse what happened and save New York. Well, I guess she could, and probably would do that in both timelines. In fact, what if she did? After all, in Endgame, we do see her wearing the stone, and it's not like she just walks around with it on. So why would she have it unless she was using it? And she does say in Doctor Strange that
I've prevented countless terrible futures, and after each one there's always another.
That brings up the interesting question. How many times did the Ancient One have to reset the battle before the Avengers won? Huh. But if she just reverses time, then I don't have much of a story to tell. So I'm gonna say she didn't do that. Stephen Strange is probably dead. He does live in New York after all. But even if he isn't, he does have a lot of work on his hands. No pun intended. And events probably won't happen in a way for him to become Doctor Strange. Unless the Ancient One does more wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff. But I'm not counting that. And so again, Dormammu will take over the Earth. Man, that guy stinks. But now he has 3 stones. Space, mind, and time. And if he can wield them, well, now he's totally unstoppable. And the whole universe will eventually succumb to the Dark Dimension. The end. Thank you so much for watching, and I really do hope that you enjoyed it. If you're new around here, wow, you made it to the end of the video. Hopefully that means it didn't totally suck. And you've made it this far, so might as well subscribe so that you don't miss any videos from me in the future. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and share it with all your friends. I'm sure they would enjoy it too. But anyways, once again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Okay, my chair's not turning right.